Hi, I'm Heather, and I'll be stamping and watercolouring this sunset scene. I'm going to start by creating a watercolour background on hot press watercolour paper. I'm using Distress Inks, Worn Lipstick, Wild Honey, and Faded Jeans, and I'm pressing them onto a glass mat. My little Faded Jeans ink pad needs re-inking. I've spritzed water generously over the inks so they start to move on the mat, and then I just swipe my watercolor paper through the ink. You can see that the colors haven't mixed together too much, but they're still moving on the paper. Get rid of some of that brown off the edge and just get a little bit more on the other side. To join those two swipes together, I'm going to spritz it with water, and that gets all that ink moving into really soft blends. Once that's completely dry, I'll put it in the Misty and then start arranging my stamps. This is the mountain part of the Mountain Magic set, and I'm not using them to look like mountains in this card. I'm using them more to look like just raised land areas in a wetlands. I'm going to have them one in front of the other, so it looks like you are looking across the wetlands as the sun sets and the reflections of the sun are in the water and a little bit on the land. I'm inking the stamp with both Faded Jeans ink and Rusty Hinge so that I get some blue tones, some brown tones, and also a mix of the two colors. First inking I did with an ink pad and then a marker over the top, but I changed my method the next time so that I didn't get too much ink, blue ink, in the tip of the Rusty Hinge marker. I don't want all my raised land areas to look exactly the same, so I'm offsetting them in the stamp positioner so that I can get that little raised hill area to be different each time I stamp it. So this time I'm stamping the blue ink first and then cleaning the stamp before I put the brown ink on. I'm just kind of using my eye to line the end of the stamp land up with the stamp to complete the strip of land. I guess I could have left it not complete, like an island jutting out there, but I didn't think of that at the time. And then one more strip of land, and you can see the join of my stamping, but that won't matter because I'm going to be painting over the top. I reversed the colors this time and stamped with the Rusty Hinge first and then the Faded Jeans. And then here I'm just eyeballing it to get these ends to join up. I'm just using water and a paintbrush to blend the ink that I stamped, and there are two hill or mountain areas on the stamp. There's one that's a little bit behind, so I've painted the front one first, and then I'm letting that dry while I move on to the next strip. Again, I'm just painting one of those masses of land first so that dries, and then I can blend out the land behind. This time I'm doing that landmass behind first, and then blending kind of the remaining area all in one go. And you can see there's a little bit of blue, a little bit of brown in there, and it just makes a nice colour for land. Now I'm going to add a little more ink to the land area, just to make it, to fill it out so it doesn't look like the sun is shining through it. It's not transparent land, but I do want it to look like the sun is shining on it, so it has that warm glow of the background sky colour coming through. To make it look like there are some reflections in the water beside this landmass, I'm just running a wet brush along the edge, and you can see some of that ink is bleeding into the area underneath. I wish I'd thought of doing that each time I stamped a landmass, but I didn't think of it till the end. So this one here was easy to do, but then I had to be careful as I tried to just add that little fuzzy reflection area along the edge of the previous two land masses. I love working with these scenic stamps. Usually when I receive them, I will use them just in the combinations that they came in. So in this case, it's the rushes stamp with the hills in the background. And then when I've tried them out by themselves, then I start thinking about other scenic stamps that I have and new combinations, adding some different trees or different backgrounds, a lake, some mountains, that sort of thing. And I just love combining them with different skies and different color schemes. To do the rushes, I'm using the same two inks, the Rusty Hinge and the Faded Jeans, and a few spritzes of water after I've inked the stamp, just to kind of get that ink moving and blending a little bit. And you can see it's still fairly transparent. Remember, there's texture in the watercolor paper, and this is a sketchy style stamp, a brushstroke stamp, so it needs a couple of impressions to give it a little bit more ink, and then I end up doing a little painting over the top too, just to make those rushes a little bit more prominent. I really like the fact that I've got the blue and the brown together, and then where the blue and brown mix, I get a much darker brown. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're inspired to do some scenic stamping of your own and create some landscapes with gorgeous skies and cool colors. If you visit my blog, heathertelford.com, you will find more stamped landscapes, some with this stamp and many others. And there are also more landscape videos on YouTube. Thanks for joining me. If you would like to subscribe and hit the notification bell, I certainly wouldn't say no. That would be fabulous.